Alright, welcome to the Backstage Pass. I am Matthew Theall.
Donovan Troy.
Alright, we're going to talk about a bunch of different cool things that have happened in the WWE recently, such as the draft that happened on Monday and the supplemental draft that happened on Wednesday on WWE.com. Exclusively. A couple of big things happened. I think the most notable is Triple H moving from Raw to SmackDown, taking his WWE Championship with him.
That's correct, and also Kane, the ECW champion, was drafted from ECW now onto Raw, making the championship exclusive to the Raw brand.
Indeed. All of this happening just before Night of Champions on Sunday. A lot of the rivalries that have been brewing for the past couple of weeks have now been separated by show. For example, Edge versus Batista for the World Heavyweight Championship. Batista has found himself now on Raw. He's no longer a SmackDown superstar, and Edge has stayed put.
And then the championship match going into Night of Champions, Edge versus Batista, will have some interesting implications. Because will La Familia be involved in keeping the championship on Edge, or will Batista bomb his way to another title reign?
And again, if he wins the World Heavyweight Championship, he'll take it to Raw with him.
Making it exclusive.
Yes.
Yes, and now the WWE Championship, we're going to see Triple H, the Game, who was recently drafted onto SmackDown, versus Raw superstar John Cena.
Alright, and again, the same thing could happen here. John Cena might potentially win the WWE Championship, taking it back to Raw with him. Triple H could win, keeping it on SmackDown. I personally want to see John Cena go ahead and take it. I think there's a lot of life left in this Triple H-John Cena feud, and I think that if Triple H goes ahead and wins this match, they're missing out in the future when they find themselves on the same show.
Very true, but let's say that Triple H does retain the WWE Championship come Night of Champions. Then there's going to be a dilemma with if Edge is still champion, there'll be two world champions on SmackDown. We might have to create another undisputed championship, and once Vince McMahon comes back on Raw, or a Raw general manager is in place, they may have to create a new championship.
This is very true. We saw something like that a couple of years ago when Batista found himself on Raw, or John Cena found himself on Raw, and SmackDown was without a champion for a couple of weeks.
That's correct.
Also, we've got the ECW title defended in a triple threat match, 3 wrestlers on 3 different shows.
That's correct. Big Show, who is an exclusive SmackDown superstar, against the newly acquired ECW star, the world's strongest man, Mark Henry, and the current champion, who's now on Raw, ECW champion, Kane.
Right. Personally, I'd like to see Mark Henry win this match. I really don't see why they would have included him in the match and drafted him all the way over to ECW from SmackDown, because, it's a huge jump.
Oh, sure.
If they weren't planning on having him win it. And from there, he can either continue his work with the Big Show, because they still have the brand merging thing.
Sure.
And Finley's on ECW now, too. So, I think that Mark Henry versus Henry would be very physical and very fun.
Could be. Now let's move on to the Intercontinental Championship, which currently has not interesting championship ideals. I mean, we really don't know if Chris Jericho will be defending the championship at Night of Champions. WWE.com has stated that all championship matches will be contested at Night of Champions, but we really don't know.
I really don't know either. He really hasn't even been wearing the Intercontinental Championship in the past couple of weeks, kind of coming out and doing the whole highlight reel just in a shirt.
That's correct. But let's see. Let's hypothesize here. What happens if Chris Jericho does defend the championship at Night of Champions? Shawn Michaels still has that eye injury, so who would you think would take his spot?
Paul London.
Really?
Paul London, Brian Kendrick have been split up from the draft. So Brian Kendrick is now on SmackDown. Paul London, I think, could easily insert himself into this storyline that Lance Cade, Shawn Michaels, and Chris Jericho have found themselves in. He did go to the Shawn Michaels Academy over in Texas to learn the craft.
Right.
Lance Cade has said, I went to the school. It's only a matter of time before Shawn Michaels wants to take me out. So I think Paul London could easily just find himself in there and say, hey, I went to that school. I don't think he's going to do that. I'm going to beat you for the Intercontinental Championship. That way we can go ahead and have a Paul London, Lance Cade thing going on. Shawn Michaels and Chris Jericho can continue their thing without the championship because it's not even needed.
Possibly, but you can't forget the new blood that's on Raw. We got Kofi Kingston, former ECW superstar, and we also have Mr. Money in the Bank, CM Punk.
CM Punk, yes, definitely. He does have that briefcase. I don't know what's going to go on. I just feel like the Intercontinental Championship has been ignored the past couple of weeks.
Come Night of Champions, we might have Chris Jericho come out. Maybe he'll have an open challenge. What mystery person will come out? We don't know.
I don't know either. Up for grabs at Night of Champions, of course, is the United States Championship. Matt Hardy versus Chavo Guerrero. Both are now ECW wrestlers.
Correct. And the championship match at Night of Champions will, regardless of who wins, will be an exclusive title to ECW.
But I have a theory.
Tell me.
All right, this is what I'd like to see happen.
Okay.
Okay, so Carlito is now on SmackDown.
Because of the supplemental
Because
draft.
of the supplemental draft. Every
Okay.
time Carlito has debuted on a new show, he has won the mid-card championship.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Back when he first debuted, he beat John Cena for the U.S. Championship.
I guess he did.
When he was drafted over to Raw, he beat Shelton Benjamin for the Intercontinental Championship, both in his first matches on each show.
All right.
I would like to see Carlito go in a U.S. Championship match against Matt Hardy on a SmackDown, beat Matt Hardy,
Okay.
and have Theodore Raw go, hey, we don't have a mid-card champion on my show anymore.
Okay.
I'm going to bring back the ECW Television Championship, have a little four-man tournament on the program there,
Okay.
crown a new ECW TV champion, maybe Matt Hardy, maybe Chavo, maybe Mike Knox, maybe Evan Bourne, I don't know. But I would like to see that happen.
Well, that could be a very interesting dilemma there because, as everyone should know, that every championship, it will be locked in their brand unless a superstar from a different brand wins it.
Exactly. Also going on at Night of Champions, of course, is the Women's Championship match. We've got Katie Lee Burchill challenging Mickie James for the Women's Championship over there on Raw.
That's correct. Both Raw Divas, no matter what happens come Night of Champions, the championship will remain on Raw.
It's true.
That's
true. I personally would like to see Mickie James go ahead and just hold on to that championship. I don't think Katie Lee Burchill's quite there for the Raw audience yet to win. I know that she's very talented. She's been an OVW Women's Champion many, many times. I think that she could potentially win it. I think they should give this storyline a little bit more time to breathe before they go ahead and put the belt on someone else.
I agree. And speaking of the Women's Championship, SmackDown was supposed to be having an exclusive Divas Championship, supposed to be exclusive to the SmackDown brand. General Manager Vicky Guerrero was the one who brought up the idea. She had a tournament of sorts and had Natalya win. Therefore, Natalya will face whoever becomes the next contender to face for the vacant championship. We really don't know. Not too much information has been given out for that.
I don't even know if they've even dropped the idea. I haven't really seen anything new
know.
about it on WWE.com lately. My dogs, ignore them. Alright, also going on at Night of Champions, of course, is the tag team matches. We've got the SmackDown tag team match. We've got John Morrison and The Miz taking on Hornswoggle and Finlay.
All four ECW superstars, because Finlay and Hornswoggle were drafted onto ECW with the supplemental draft. Interesting dilemma there because the SmackDown Championships are supposed to be exclusive to the SmackDown brand. However, since John Morrison and The Miz are ECW superstars, they have been on both programs as of late.
It's true, because rosters are merged. We've heard rumors that ECW is going to go ahead and move and be recorded before Raws now. So I really don't know what's going to go on with that. I think John Morrison and The Miz probably hang on to the championships. Finlay and Hornswoggle will have a lot more things to do on ECW. I mean, I think Finlay's definitely a challenger for the ECW title. If it finds its way back onto that show, Kane.
That's true. That's very true.
So, Morrison and Miz hold on to the titles, and if ECW does get moved over to before Raw, might as well just go ahead and include them on the SmackDown roster.
I would agree. And speaking of tag team matches, we also have the World Tag Team Championship match at Night of Champions. Hardcore Holly and Cody Rhodes, the current champions, against Ted DiBiase Jr. and a mystery partner.
Who is this partner?
I don't know.
I have a couple of theories.
Theories,
yes.
Okay, please.
2 theories. Well, 3 theories. The first one was to be D.H. Smith, kind of have a Young Guns type of storyline going on there.
Sure.
But D.H. Smith has now been drafted over to SmackDown, so that
Yes.
likelihood is probably pretty slim.
Yes.
2 other theories. Couple of big returns, I guess you could say, for the WWE. D'Lo Brown has signed a contract. He's probably going to show up sometime soon. Maybe he could be Ted DiBiase Jr.'s partner.
Could be.
Second one is Ron the Truth Killings coming over from TNA back over to the WWE.
Oh, yes.
Could potentially be a tag team partner for Ted DiBiase Jr. as well.
Well, let's hope that his money speaks loud, because if he doesn't pick a good partner, he may just lose that title opportunity, and maybe another team will have to come up and challenge Hardcore Holly and Cody Rhodes.
I don't know. Paul and Brian Kendrick aren't tag team partners anymore.
I'm sorry. Don't be sad.
All right. Well, I guess that's about all the time we have and all the topics we have. So this is Matthew Theall,
Donovan Troy.
and we will see you next time on the Backstage Pass, part of the Pro Wrestling and you-niverse.